Hello friends, last week I posted a video in which I asked you guys a question about translation. I asked the following question: do you need a degree to become a translator, or do you think you can become a translator without a degree? Because, for example, you love languages and translation. And I had a lot of insightful feedback from you, many wonderful comments. So first, I would like to thank you for your answers and contributions that have helped me a lot in shaping my opinion that I want to share with you today. Now, as I read the comments, it seemed to me that there is a clear divide. There are two sides here. On the one hand, there are those who think that to become a translator, you must have a degree, and their arguments were very convincing. Like, you need to know about theories and techniques of translation, and when you have a degree, it means you are a professional and you are taken seriously by clients and recruiters. On the other hand, there are those who argued that you don't need a degree. You need to be proficient in 2 languages at least, and you need to be passionate about languages and translation, and that is that. And I found that their arguments were very convincing too, because as far as the skill in translation is concerned, you can develop it over time and with a lot of practice. What about the theories? Those who think you don't need a degree argued that you can read about them online, and also their main argument was, well, a lot of recruiters and clients don't ask to see your degree. They are more interested in your body of work and experience and reputation, things you can gain over years of practice in the field. Now, what's my own take on the question? I now think that a degree in translation can help you a lot in becoming a good translator, but you can still become a good translator without a degree. Hear me out. Hear me out. When I was in high school, all I wanted to become was a translator. I started translating stories and novels from Arabic to English or French. I didn't know anything about translation as a science. My translations were terrible. Of course, they were terrible because I didn't know about the techniques and the skills and the theories of translation. But also, and more importantly, I was not yet proficient in the language. Like at that time, I was lower intermediate in English and French, and so my translations were terrible, not so much because I didn't know the theories and the techniques of translation, but because in the first place, my grammar was still shaky. My vocabulary was limited. My sentence structure was average. My spelling was not up to much. So if I was bad in translation, it was not so much because I didn't have a degree or I didn't know the theories, but because my command of the language was, to say the least, still not well developed. It means that even if I had a degree in translation with that kind of average level in English, that wouldn't make me a translator at all. It would make me a guy holding a degree in translation, but not a translator. So I guess my first point is, having a degree in translation and knowing all the theories and techniques will not make of you a good translator or a translator at all if your proficiency in the language is not excellent. Yes, I said excellent. I didn't say good. You must have an excellent language level in at least 2 languages. Not an average level, not even a good level, but an excellent level. I mean not B1 or B2 or even C1. In my opinion, you need to be C2. And not just in speaking, but in all the skills, especially in reading and writing, and especially in writing. Like, you should write flawlessly in, for example, Arabic and English before you can translate from Arabic to English. On the other hand, though, I believe that being proficient in 2 languages is not enough. It's not enough to make you a good translator. Let me explain. You need good, if not advanced, knowledge of specific translation techniques and concepts in order to be able to deal with the difficulties and the challenges that are inevitably gonna come up in the translation process. I say this because this has happened to me over the past 2 years. I struggle with formulating satisfactory equivalents, and I feel that my translation when I read it is not natural because it has an average quality or because it is too literal or misinterpreted. In a word, it seems to me to be amateurish, not professional. Again, not because it had grammatical mistakes, but because it obviously did not respect the rules and the principles set by the theory and practice of translation, developed by experts in the field over hundreds of years. Alright, so what did I decide to do about this? I decided to do more research and read more about the theory and practice of translation. I've even decided to enroll in an online course in translation to learn more about the basics of the theory and practice of translation in order to become a better translator. Now, I'm very lucky because my wife is a translator by profession. She is, in fact, a holder of a translation degree and the teacher of translation at the university, so she is going to help me and guide me with this. Well, yesterday she gave me my first lesson, which I think sums up much of what I've talked about today. She said, translation is well translating into a language you know very well, what you have very well understood in a language you know well. Salam.